Hello everyone, and this is Larger Worlds, and today's review is West Side Story, the remake by Steven Spielberg. The story is, it's basically Romeo and Juliet, but not based in Renaissance era Italy, but takes place in 1950s New York, with the Jets and the Sharks. The Sharks being played by Puerto Ricans, and the Jets being whites. And of course, Tony is in love with Maria. Tony being a white jet, and Maria, who's affiliated some way with the Sharks, who's also Puerto Rican. And of course, if you've read Romeo and Juliet, or even seen the show it was based on, or even seen the movie from the 60s, then you're going to find it a really easy narrative and plot to follow. So yeah. I watched this movie and I actually liked this movie. What I liked about it is the editing, and particularly in the opening shot where it shows like the demolished area of New York, which later became like the Lincoln Center. Yeah, just like goes around, presumably with some CGI or some drone shot or something, depending what Spielberg uses more often. And it just goes around as completely desolate and completely destroyed and completely flattened to the ground. And suddenly the door opens and it's just one of the guys in the film. And also, the cinematography in this film is absolutely beautiful. Particularly in a scene where both Jets and the Sharks fight in a warehouse full of salt when it's wintertime. Like the big warehouse-like doors, like they don't go up, and you just it feels like these sweeping shots where you only see the legs, the body, then the head. Like it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Warriors or something. And also that shot you may have seen in the trailer where the shadow work is just so much collided inward, while both sets of the Sharks and Jets are just standing in a line, looking opposite each other, which was actually really beautiful. Even though this is a self-contained movie, what was very interesting, they have Rita Moroni, who appeared in the original movie, appear in this movie, even though now she's in her 90s and playing the storekeeper in the movie. Yeah, she's actually is probably one of the best performances in the movie, along with Ariana DeBrose in the movie, who plays almost like Maria's guardian or sibling, almost like a guardian figure to her. And also for Rita, who plays the store owner, he's again the almost the guardian figure for Tony, who plays by Alson Elgort, who after Tony landed himself in jail, he stayed at her place and helped out with her store, which was really interesting, really good. And what gets my attention is the pretty vapid depiction of racism in the movie, particularly that it's basically whites versus Puerto Ricans, and also there's a scene where one of the characters gets beat up by a transgender person in a police station, yeah, which I thought was really interesting again. I think two of my favourite songs in the film, even though I remember watching the original 60s film when I was a kid, well, only little bits of it, but I've definitely heard of the stage production, of course, but I think my two favourite songs from the film are America, where it's basically Puerto Ricans dancing onto the streets and just basically celebrating America while keeping true to their Puerto Rican heritage. And also there's G Officer Crump, which follows afterwards, which follows the whites in the police station after the police officers were tipped off of the upcoming rumble, which is basically their big fights they usually have. And also the costuming work is actually gorgeous, particularly in the America scene. Yeah, which I think there's Aria DeBrose's character wears this dress that's a mustard yellow and has this red flares under it, and also, which I thought was actually gorgeous to look at. And also there's this scene where Maria and her friends navigate through this department store, which is, again, keep in mind this takes place in 1950s America. It really stays really true to the film's aesthetic. Like, it's so pleasing to look at. Like, it's so gorgeous. Of course, I will have to address the elephant in the room. Basically being Alson Algard, after I'm not sure if it's a Twitter cry or something, but he had been accused, I think last year or 2 years ago, I can't remember the exact dating, that he was accused of sexual assault or something along that lines, and that the audience tries, and that a lot of people are boycotting the film just because of his presence. Like, I think he doesn't add like way too much to the movie. Like, his performance is alright, but I think I prefer like Rachel Ziegler's performance as Maria. Uh, even though Tony again by Alison Elgard, even though he's a brilliant actor, particularly in the movie Baby Driver, I feel like he isn't. He doesn't like stand out as he should have. Like, I think the other members of the Jets or the Whites feel like more fleshed out. I think he's almost too much of a Romeo. Like, he's too much of a kind person. Like, I kind of want more out of him. All in all, I enjoy this movie. The music is gorgeous. The cinematography, costuming work, and the production values of this movie pays off really well of this Steven Spielberg's most vibrant movie in recent memory. The performances of Anya DeBose and Rita Moroni and Rachel Ziegler is brilliant in the movie, and as well as the how the movie is so clear and easy to understand. Like, it's basically Romeo and Juliet, but it's also a remake of West Side Story. It's also an adaptation of West Side Story, the musical. Like, it feels like really universal. It like comes full circle at the end. And I'm giving this an 8 out of 10. Like, I like the movie. Let me know in the comments what you think. Like this video, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And this is Elijah Wells, and bye.